A man named Alex, who, by all accounts, was an ordinary guy with a regular job, a quiet life, and a taste for the unknown. He wasn't someone who deeply believed in the paranormal, but he was fascinated by the idea of it, often attending gatherings with friends where they'd swap ghost stories or talk about unexplained mysteries. But of course, that was all just fun and games, until the events of one cold October night. It was around midnight when Alex found himself scrolling online, feeling a strange sense of restlessness. He stumbled upon a website buried deep in the dark corners of the internet. It had no flashy design or graphics, just an ancient, minimalistic look that made it feel forbidden. The site was called Summon Your Desires. At first, he chuckled, dismissing it as one of those joke sites that promise to fulfill your wildest dreams for a fee. But as he read further, his amusement faded into a growing curiosity. The site's promise was simple yet alluring, a way to get exactly what you desired most in life. Success, love, wealth, or knowledge, whatever you wanted could be granted to you. The catch was vague, but it was there. You'd have to offer something in return, though the site didn't specify what that something was. Alex shrugged, deciding to give it a go, if only to see what would happen. He filled in a quick form, typing in his name and the thing he desired. I want to know the truth about the unknown. I want to see what lies beyond. He pressed send, half expecting nothing to happen. But the moment he clicked, his computer screen went black and a message appeared. The deal has been accepted. Be prepared for a visitor. He felt a chill run down his spine, and for the first time, he wondered if he'd done something foolish. Shaking it off, he turned off his computer, dismissed it as some prank, and went to bed. But that night, Alex's world would be turned upside down. Around 3 a.m., he woke up to the sound of scratching at his window. His apartment was on the 3rd floor, and there was no balcony, just a sheer drop to the street below. He told himself it was a branch, maybe a bird, anything to keep calm. But then the scratching stopped, and he heard something much worse, a faint whisper, right outside his window, calling his name. Alex. The voice was low and raspy, barely a breath, yet it was unmistakable. Heart pounding, he stayed frozen in bed, hoping it was a dream. But the voice came again, clearer this time, dragging out his name. Summoning the courage, he looked toward the window, expecting to see nothing. But instead, there was a figure, barely visible, silhouetted against the night. A dark form with hollow eyes staring in, as if it was waiting for an invitation. The figure slowly raised one finger and motioned for Alex to come closer. Against all reason, he found himself getting up and walking toward the window, as if drawn by some invisible force. When he reached it, the figure vanished, leaving only a single smoky word smeared across the glass. Come. For days, Alex tried to shake the encounter, convincing himself it was a hallucination, a trick of the mind. But the whispering returned each night, always around 3 a.m., calling his name, begging him to come closer. He began to feel drained, as if his very essence was being worn away by the nightly visits. Shadows seemed to gather in the corners of his room, stretching, watching him, waiting. He decided he couldn't stay in his apartment anymore. Desperate, he went to a friend, Mark, someone who shared his curiosity for the unknown, but had a cautious approach to it. Alex told Mark everything, about the website, the message, the figure. Mark listened, but instead of laughing it off, he grew serious. You might have made a deal, Alex, and if you did, there's no breaking it. You summoned something, and it wants its due. Terrified but determined to end this nightmare, they searched for anyone who could help. A local historian told them about an old ritual that could sever bonds with spirits. It was risky, she warned, but it might just work if Alex had the strength to follow through. Desperate, Alex agreed, and together they gathered the items they needed. That night, they performed the ritual, speaking words that echoed into the night. They felt a dark, heavy presence settle around them, as if the very air had thickened. And then, something extraordinary happened. A whisper, louder and clearer than ever, erupted from the shadows. It was the voice, furious, demanding. "You summoned me, Alex. You cannot escape me." The figure materialized in the corner of the room, its face now fully visible, gaunt, with eyes as empty as the void. It lunged at Alex, who held his ground, reciting the words of the ritual with all the strength he had left. The creature writhed, clawing at the air, its shape twisting, screaming as the ritual took hold. With a final ear-piercing wail, the figure seemed to dissolve, pulled back into the darkness from where it came. Silence fell, heavy and absolute, broken only by Alex's gasps for breath. Alex thought it was over, but as he tried to return to normal life, he realized he wasn't the same. Shadows lingered a little too long in the corners. Whispers still brushed against his ears in the dead of night. And every now and then, he'd catch a glimpse of a figure in his reflection. A figure with hollow eyes and a hand raised, inviting him to come closer. Whether Alex truly escaped or not remains a mystery. But he left one piece of advice to anyone willing to listen. If you stumble across a promise too good to be true, one that offers your deepest desires, just walk away.